I have a Mazda 2 here with foggy and yellow plastic headlights. I know a lot of folks just jump to replacing these when they get to this point, and I get that. However, I don't have that kind of money laying around. So instead, let's give this a try. This is Cerakote's Ceramic Headlight Restoration Kit. It was $17 when I got it. Our test subject will be my mother's 2011 Mazda 2. She bought this a decade ago and she's absolutely loved it. These headlights, though, not only do they look sad, they really don't work well at this point, especially with halogen bulbs. Admittedly, the driver's side is quite a bit better looking, but it still needs some love. So opening the box, we get a bag housing a sanding pad, sandpaper discs, and some plastic gloves. There's also instructions for the literate folks in my audience, and a ton of various sealed wet wipes. So starting out, we're going to mask off the headlights with painter's tape to avoid damaging the paint at all. You're going to notice the car was also rotated about 180 degrees here. That's because after reading the instructions, they say, for best results, Cerakote headlight should be applied in the shade. Unfortunately, it is extremely sunny here, and there is no shade to be found. However, after putting my thinking cap on, I noticed that the hood makes a little bit of shade, and that's enough for one headlight at a time. So the instructions also say we need a spray bottle with water and several clean, dry towels. Water bottle, pumpkin themed, and towels of sorts. Okay, gloves on. Step 1, oxidization remover. You're going to want to make sure the headlights are completely dry. You're going to end up using half of the wipes, so 4 of the 8 oxidization remover wipes that are in the box. Instructions say if the headlights are still a bit yellow after using all these wipes, that's all right. It sounds like these are just getting the easy stuff off first. You're supposed to do this step in a circular and scrubbing fashion. I believe you're working this into all the microscopic nooks and crannies that are on the surface of the headlight. You're trying to get some of that yellow base level material off. Once the pad gets fairly brown and yellow, just swap it over to the next pad, and otherwise it won't be working as well. When I did the driver's headlight off camera, the pads lasted a lot longer before getting dirty. It's probably because it was so much less oxidized by comparison. Step 2. The next step will be wet sanding the headlight with a provided sanding block in the more aggressive burgundy-backed 2000 grit sandpaper. I usually try to center the sandpaper as well as possible. You absolutely want to make sure you're doing a wet sand, not a dry sand. So you make sure you have that water bottle on hand. A dry sand will be way too harsh, and it's only going to damage your headlight further. I was actually really surprised to read that the box directed me to sand linearly and not in a circular manner. So I'm going to keep that in mind here. It's a good idea to make sure you're holding the sandpaper down evenly as well, as opposed to leaning into one side or the other. A few extra strokes that are controlled are better than all of the elbow grease and uneven sanding and gouging parts of the finish. You're going to end up doing this for about 2 to 3 minutes. So cue the montage music. The next step will be taking the smoother 3000 grit sandpaper and sanding again. We should rinse it well with that water first. This is going to give us a good idea of where we're at. The headlight should be pretty foggy and scuffed up by now, so don't panic. That's actually a good thing. Because what we're doing with this sanding is we're cutting down the oxidized plastic and exposing clear material underneath. If you have a small water bottle like me, you're going to want to make sure it's topped up before starting this stage. I used about 5 refills of this little bottle over the course of these headlights. Sand again for about 2 to 3 minutes. You're going to feel the headlight getting smoother as you go. It might take a little bit longer than 2 to 3 minutes. You'll know when it starts to feel a bit better. Cue the montage music. Before progressing to the next step, we're going to want to make sure that these headlights are 100% dry. Use multiple towels, and if you have access to it, compressed air can help a ton as well. Now that this is dry, you can see the headlights certainly looking quite a bit better than before, but now it's consistently hazy, but not yellow. The final step here is a ceramic clear coat, and this is going to help in a big way. Oh, I just noticed there's a rough spot after drying. So I'm going to want to give this a once over before getting everything locked in with that ceramic clear coat. This is also why we make sure we tape off the headlight so we don't have any stray strokes hit the paint. This is the worst part of the headlight, so I'm not too surprised it needs a bit more attention. Yeah, that's feeling a lot better now. Okay, now we're really moving on to step 3. If you have bigger hands like me, or at least palmy hands like me, you might want to get a different set of gloves because these black ones were just not doing it. Once you get your hands a little bit wet or sweaty, they're not coming back on. Okay, so we need to be really careful on this step. You're going to want to apply the clear coat in a single wiping fashion, ideally vertically, so from like top to bottom. And when you do it, you're going to want about a 50% overlap with your last stroke that you just did. Then when you're done, look for any spots you may have missed and then just touch them up. After that, we got to let this sit for 60 minutes and then you're done. Even compared to the driver's side headlight, which was a fraction as damaged, this looks almost new. Honestly, this did a really good job. There's some roughness in the finish, but that's because I did this outside on a really windy day. If you did it inside, it'd be a lot smoother. And if you put your face really up against the headlight, you'll see it's not quite perfect, but for $17 or so, this sure beats a new set of headlights. Here's a before and after of that passenger headlight. I'm really impressed with how this turned out. I don't know how it's going to last, but for what it's worth, Cerakote's pretty well known in the firearm world, and I haven't heard much negative stuff about them. If you've used this product in the past, be sure to leave a comment below about your experience. I would love to know. I'm also going to leave an affiliate link for this kit below, so if you want to try giving this a shot, using that link will really help me out because I get a little kickback from the sale. Doesn't cost you anything extra, it just helps me. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. And until then, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon to see content from me in the future. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This program was made possible by contributions to this channel from viewers like you. Thank you.